What's going on, YouTubers and YouTubettes? It's your boy, CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Drop that like down below. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name to that $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for being here as always, man. Let's go ahead and get another MLB smasher going. Let's go ahead and get it started. All right, now I will be doing the code word giveaway in this video. So at some random point in this video, I will be giving you guys a player's name, and you need to DM me on Twitter at cam_ATL, that player's name, not on the comment section below, not on open Twitter. DM me that player's name for a chance to get free access to greenlightdfs.com today for MLB access. All right? Now, let's go ahead and get into this, man. We've been all over the place. Yesterday I told you guys Giants are my favorite plays. Guess what happened? Giants ended up being the highest scoring team on the slate, and it was another smashing night for the squad. Now, the thing is no sites were promoting the Giants. That's why it was so easy to cash last night, okay? But at the end of the day, if you take some time, do the research, like I told you guys in that DFS strategy video talking about stacks, if you really do your research and break it down, you can really find the right stacks that might be little hidden gems, okay? They had a decent Vegas total, and nobody was really promoting them too high, and look what happened. You know what I mean? Because the matchup was just beautiful. They should have been much higher owned than they were. Wilmer Flores went off. Austin Slater went off. It was an amazing night. But let's go ahead and get straight into today, and let's just do it again, plain and simple. Now, starting off at pitcher. Pitcher is a tough one for me today. I've struggled a little bit as looking at it. I mean, you've got Walker Buehler against Colorado. That is probably one of the safest bets on the slate. Colorado, while at home, is an offense you want to avoid, but on the road, they're an offense you want to pick on. All right, they strike out a good bit. They're just not a great offense on the road most of the time. Vegas has this total at 3.9. Walker Buehler has been not too great. He's been underwhelming. That's the problem here. Okay? He has been giving up earned runs left and right. 2 earned runs in his first start, 3 earned runs in his second, 2 earned runs in his third, 4 earned runs in his fourth. Like, he has been struggling. Okay? Struggling. Now, this matchup against Colorado could be a bounce back situation. I mean, last year he dropped a 52 against Colorado at home in LA on June 21st last year. Like, that's ridiculous, okay? Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I don't love how he's been pitching so far this year, so it does make me uncomfortable to pay the 9-2. But in cash games, I feel like it could be a solid play, but there's other plays that I'm kind of leaning, okay, to be honest with you. All right? Now, to start off with, a pitcher who's been absolutely amazing is Aaron Nola. Now, we all know the type of talent Aaron Nola has, all right? Aaron Nola is a guy with a solid K rate. He strikes out over 10 per 9. He's got over a 29% K rate, only allowing a 1.09 whip. He's only got a 3.49 ERA. He's going against an Atlanta squad that last year we did not want to play pitchers against too much because they didn't strike out much. This year, it's a different story. They're actually striking out a good bit, and it's okay to play pitchers against them. Now, one thing you always have to watch when games are in Atlanta is weather. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. If there's any delay risk, you're not going to want to play him. But if not, at 9-9, I think he's a solid play to get off instead of Buehler. He's got a solid K rate. He's actually been pitching solid this year. I think this is a solid spot here for him. Yes, Atlanta's offense is scary, but I think Nola can have a solid outing here. I mean, to put it in perspective, he played Atlanta August 10th and got 38 DraftKings points. Struck out 10 of them, got a quality start. All right, so Aaron Nola is a solid option. Another guy I want to mention is Max Fried. Now, Max Fried is going against a Philly squad that they've been hitting lefties fairly well this year. But Fried's just been super consistent, averaging 15 or more DraftKings points every single game this year. He has been fairly consistent. All right, he's striked out 10 per 9. He's got over almost a 27% K rate, which is really good. Only a 1.23 whip, which is pretty solid as well. Only giving up a 3.43 ERA. Fried's been a solid option. Do you want to pay 8-9 for him? That's the question, and that's been the tough part for me to choose. All right, do you want to pay that much? He's been good. Optimizer doesn't like him too much at that price at 8-9, but it is what it is. Max Fried is a solid option. Now let's talk about Robbie Ray because a lot of people are going to be promoting Robbie Ray. Now let me explain why Robbie Ray is a little bit bothersome to me. Yes, he's got an elite K rate, over 30% K rate for sure. He's playing a San Francisco team that does not strike out a lot though, so that kind of offsets that. All right. Now, he's giving up a 1.45 whip, which is getting to be a little high, okay? He has been struggling a ton this year. The highest he's scored is 13 DraftKings points against San Diego, all right, because he's been giving up so much earned runs. Another issue here is he's got almost a 6 ERA. Another issue, wind is blowing out. It is in San Francisco, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's still wind blowing out. To make matters even worse, Wilmer Flores, Austin Slater, multiple guys on the San Francisco, Yastrzemski, multiple guys on the San Francisco offense have been mashing lefties. We took full advantage of that last night. And once again today, there are a few San Francisco guys that are really high on my list as plays today. Robbie Ray has a solid K rate, but plain and simple, I don't care that he's 7-3. He's got a solid K rate, but he's giving up way too many earned runs. And at the end of the day, 10 might be all you need. So can his K rate get you that floor of 10? Maybe. Problem is he's facing a team that doesn't strike out a ton, and they're also hitting lefties very, very well. So even though all the sights are going to be pointing towards Robbie Ray, I'm probably going to be fading that play, to be honest with you. There's other places I'd probably prefer. All right, one guy I want to talk about that the optimizer does not like, but I'm going to adjust. Adrian Hauser. Adrian Hauser's going against Pittsburgh. This is a fantastic matchup, man. Now, Hauser doesn't have a blow-you-away K rate. Strikes out over 23% on average, though. So that's good. Only a 1.14 whip, which is solid. Only given up 3.53 ERA. He's been a solid pitcher this year. Plain and simple. He's had one down game against Minnesota. We can understand that. Other than that, he's gotten 10 or more in all of his other starts. Now, at 8-4, you're going to need more than that. That's the only issue. But against Pittsburgh, it can definitely be done. All right, this Pittsburgh squad is striking out a ton. They hit righties okay. They've got a few lefties on this Pittsburgh squad that could give Hauser some issues. But if he can somehow get through those guys, get ground balls, and not allow home runs out of those guys, I think he's going to have a very solid outing. It's hard, honestly, on this slate to pick what pitchers to use. But I'm just going to zone through it real quick, go through a few more. So, honestly, man, Nola is at the top of my list. Another guy that we can talk about is going to be Andrew Heaney. All right, Andrew Heaney, we know the type of K rate he has. Oakland has been bad. Okay, he got 19 against them earlier this year. He's only 7-7. Now, this is who I would prefer over Robbie Ray, right here. Okay, this is the guy in that 7K range that I would prefer over Robbie Ray. Yes, he hasn't had any huge games this year so far, but look, the kid's got a solid K rate, plain and simple. He's a solid pitcher in general. And I think that this could be a fantastic spot for him here against Oakland. Now, Oakland at any moment can blow up, but, I mean, strikes out 10 per 9, almost a 26% K rate. That whip's a little high this year. The ERA is a little high, but I expect that to kind of level out and go down a little bit. Heaney's a little better than he's shown, and he still hasn't he's had one bad game. Outside of that, he's been pretty solid, pretty decent, I'll say that. All right, and against Oakland, who strikes out a lot, I think it's a solid spot here. All right. Let's go ahead and talk bats now, because I've been on pitchers forever, because it is a hard pitcher slate. It's going to take a good amount of time to figure out exactly who we want to go with. Now, to start off the hitters, let's go to my core. I'm going to start it off with Austin Slater. Austin Slater is my guy. This kid is an absolute beast, batting .350, 4 home runs. Against lefties, he's an absolute monster. Okay, on top of the bat that he's been running this year, he also is running this year. Nice stolen base upside as well. The kid's gotten 23 and 17 the last 2 games. When Austin Slater facing a lefty, you play him, especially when DraftKings doesn't want to fix his price. He's 2.8. This kid should be in the 4K range. Plain and simple. He is a super talented batter versus left-handed bats. He's a talented base runner, getting stolen bases. So that stolen base potential already gives you a solid floor with him. Because if he gets on base, most likely he's going to try to take second. You know what I mean? So plain and simple, Austin Slater is one of those San Francisco guys that I absolutely love this year. This slate. And honestly, he's locked to me at 2.8. He's locked. I'm not going to overthink it. If he's leading off once again, which he should be against a lefty, I'm locking him. And especially if Robbie Ray is going to be high owned, I want more San Francisco than even before. I love San Francisco, but I'm going to love San Francisco even more if it turns out Robbie Ray is going to be chalk. Because I will love to get a takedown picking on Robbie Ray if he's chalk. All right, now, next guy I want to talk about happens to be at the second base position. All the numbers point to this dude having a fantastic game today, and that's Hanzer Alberto. Now, don't worry about this projection. That's absolutely criminal. I'll fix that, okay? That's a mistake on my part. But Hanzer Alberto is a absolute lefty masher. Now, Brewer is opening for Boston, which is a righty, okay? But Hanzer's only going to have to deal with maybe one at-bat against him. Okay, but then he gets to go against Hernandez, the lefty of Boston, who, by the way, is atrocious versus righties. You want the righties. Now, Santander, you guys know I love Santander. I like him more versus righties. Okay, so Santander's going to have a great matchup in the first at bat. But then against lefties, he's not as good. He's solid, but he's not as good. The guy that I'm leaning towards is Alberto, though. Alberto has been mashing lefties beautifully. He's batting over a 330 average this year. The dude is an absolute lefty masher. He is the literal epitome of what a lefty masher is. Okay? Hanzer Alberto, 4-8 or not, I mean, at the end of the day, this matchup is beautiful. I think he's going to go off in this game. I think it's going to be a very nice game. All right, I think he could possibly have upside like he did, like for instance, he dropped 29 DraftKings points against Tampa Bay July 31st. That's the type of upside he possesses. He hasn't gotten that in a long time. He's got a floor of about 10 against a left-handed pitcher, but the ceiling of about 30. So I'm loving Hanzer Alberto. All right, now to finish it off, this was a tough one. It comes down to a shortstop. Tim Anderson, we all know versus lefties how good this dude is. All right, plain and simple, he is an absolute beast versus left-handed pitching. Problem is Lester has actually been pretty damn good this year. I'm not going to lie. Lester has been really fucking good this year, okay? Plain and simple. Now, does that matter much for Tim Anderson? No, okay? If you end up having the money, Tim Anderson is solid at 4-8. I'd still play him even how good Lester's been because Lester has shown weakness through his career against right-handed bats, okay? So especially a guy like Tim Anderson, who pretty much hasn't been missing versus lefties, is in a fantastic spot, and he's always got that double dong upside. Tim Anderson can definitely go off. So I like him. I'm going to save a little bit of money and go with my boy because Franmil Reyes is just way too good, plain and simple, versus right-handed pitching, not to play him, especially against the gas can of the slate. I know you guys are probably tired of my Franmil Reyes love, but can you blame me? I played him when he got 27 August 14th. I played him when he got 33 August 16th. I played him when he played Pittsburgh yesterday and got 9, which I'll take that. And I'm playing him again today, and he's probably going to drop another 30-something. At the end of the day, Franmil Reyes is a up-and-down guy. He's been a lot more consistent this year than we're used to, though. But the thing is, he's got slate-breaking upside. And against Fulmer, Michael Fulmer, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolute gas can of this slate. And what I mean by that, I mean that he is going to absolutely get demolished. Okay? Michael Fulmer is a pitcher that anytime he's pitching, you look at the other team and you play those bats that are good versus righties, and you're a lock. Okay? Fulmer, I'm talking about, is giving up over a 400 average. Huge, ridiculous whip. He's not missing right-handed bats. Right-handed bats are dominating him. Now, on top of that, Reyes is a beautiful right-handed. He's better versus right-handed pitchers than lefties. So it just matches up perfectly. I think he's got double dong potential. Franmil Reyes or Tim Anderson, both of these guys are solid. If you could get both, more power to you, but remember, get your pitchers right first, okay? It's going to take a lot of work on today's slate to get pitching right because there's not a bunch of just stick out matchups for these pitchers today. There's none that really stick out and it's like, oh yeah, got to do that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of situations where these guys could get blown up. You know what I mean? So take some time on pitcher today. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and give you the code word now, all right? The code word for today is going to be Hanzer Alberto because he is the code to smashing tonight. He is going to dominate. Hanzer Alberto. DM me on Twitter at @cam_ATL, Hanzer Alberto, and it'll enter your name into a free access for MLB tonight. I will randomly select about 20, 30 minutes before the slate and hook you up. All right? Thank you guys for joining me as always. Greenlightdfs.com, man. Good luck, y'all. Let's keep dominating. Get this money. I'm out. Peace.